You're thinking too short-term. That's the hard truth. You want fast results, instant gratification, and a quick fix. You're chasing dopamine hits, not real progress. But here's the problem. Life doesn't work like that. The people who truly win aren't the ones sprinting. They're the ones playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man everyone thinks was just some ruthless political manipulator, he actually had one of the most strategic minds in history. And no, he wasn't just about lies and manipulation. He was about vision, control, patience. He understood something most people never learn: how to think long-term in a world obsessed with the now. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of chasing results that never stick, then it's time to stop thinking like a peasant and start thinking like a prince. Because that's what Machiavelli's lessons are really about: how to navigate a brutal world, stay 2 steps ahead, and build power that lasts. Let's make something clear. This isn't about turning you into some cold-hearted manipulator. That's not the point. What Machiavelli offers is mental strategy, not moral corruption. If you read The Prince with any depth, you realize it's not a handbook for villains. It's a survival guide for anyone trying to rise in a world that doesn't care how nice you are. Machiavelli lived in a time of betrayal, ambition, shifting alliances, and ruthless politics. Sound familiar? Because let's be honest, modern life is no different. Sure, we don't carry swords anymore, but make no mistake, life is still a battlefield. Your workplace? It's political. Your relationships? They involve strategy. Your reputation? It's currency. And if you think being passive or overly idealistic will get you ahead, you're already behind. Here's the deeper truth Machiavelli understood. Power doesn't belong to the strong, it belongs to the strategic. You don't have to be the loudest guy in the room. You don't need to be born into wealth, status, or charm. But what you do need is the ability to see beyond today. You need to build towards something greater than yourself. You need to play the long game. And this is where most people fail. They chase followers instead of influence. They chase comfort instead of challenge. They confuse popularity for power. They move with emotion instead of intention. That's why Machiavelli still matters. He teaches you how to plant seeds today that grow into empires tomorrow. He teaches you how to delay gratification, how to think 4 moves ahead, how to protect your interests without showing your hand. And most importantly, he teaches you how to control your fate in a world that wants to control you. So, in this video, we're breaking it down. No fluff, no recycled self-help nonsense. Just cold, hard principles from one of history's most misunderstood thinkers, and how you can use them to stop playing checkers and start building your chessboard. Let's get into it. Principle 1. Think in decades, act in moments. The average person can't see past Friday night. Their goals end at the next paycheck, the next weekend, the next little hit of pleasure. That's why they stay average. Machiavelli understood that power is not built in days or weeks. It's sculpted over years. He advised princes to build their kingdoms on long-term stability, not quick popularity, because applause fades. But strategy sticks. This applies to you right now. Where do you want to be in 10 years? Not some vague fantasy. Get specific. What does your financial life look like? Your health? Your circle of influence? Your skill set? If you can't answer that, you're walking blind into a battlefield. And guess what? You're going to lose. But thinking long-term isn't enough. You need to act with urgency in the short term. That's where most people mess up. They plan for the future but delay action. They say they'll start tomorrow. They say they'll commit when the timing is right. That's not Machiavellian. That's cowardly. The long game is played by people who move now with the future in mind. Every rep in the gym is an investment. Every skill you build is armor. Every disciplined decision is one more brick in your empire. Start acting like your future is watching you. Because it is. Principle 2. Control perception, not just reality. Machiavelli said it bluntly. It's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. That single quote has been taken out of context and twisted into nonsense. What he was really saying was this: perception is power. People don't follow truth. They follow the version of truth they believe. And who shapes that belief? You dof, you're smart. That doesn't mean lie. It means curate. Manage your image, build your reputation with intention. If you're strong, let people see enough strength to respect you, but don't reveal your entire hand. If you're learning, don't parade your ignorance, project curiosity with confidence. Ask yourself, what are people saying when you leave the room? What story are they telling themselves about you? You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to overshare. You just have to be aware. Because if you don't shape the narrative, someone else will, and they won't do it in your favor. Machiavelli knew that people judge more by appearances than by reality. So don't just work on becoming better, work on making that progress visible. Not for ego, but for influence. Principle 3. Learn to delay pleasure and hunt for leverage. If you want the world to take you seriously, you need to learn how to suffer now for rewards that don't come until later. That's real discipline. That's the game Machiavelli played. He wasn't seduced by short-term wins. He understood that sacrificing immediate pleasure could put him in a position of greater control later on. When he was exiled and disgraced, he didn't whine. He wrote. He studied. He waited. That's how the prince was born. What are you building in the dark right now? If you're not grinding behind the scenes, don't expect to shine in public. Delaying pleasure doesn't mean hating your life. It means putting your emotions on a leash. It means being strategic with your time, your energy, your attention. Cut the scrolling. Cut the comfort. Cut the need for immediate validation. Instead, hunt for leverage. What skill will give you unfair advantage in 5 years? What relationship will open doors no one else can touch? What platform, what habit, what network are you building now that compounds over time? Leverage beats hustle every time. And leverage comes from strategy, not effort alone. Keep this in mind. The long game isn't about grinding harder. It's about setting traps today that catch opportunity tomorrow. Principle 4. Don't be good, be useful. We're taught to be good people. Kind, polite, agreeable. That's fine in theory. But Machiavelli would laugh at that advice if it left you weak and broke. He understood something most people never grasp. Being good means nothing if you're not useful. You don't earn respect just by being nice. You earn it by having value. That might mean skill, that might mean knowledge, that might mean loyalty. But niceness without utility is just decoration. Stop trying to be liked. Start becoming someone who can't be ignored. At work, that means mastering your craft. In relationships, it means being the rock, not the child. In your community, it means offering solutions, not just opinions. Usefulness isn't about showing off. It's about making yourself essential. When you become the person people turn to in chaos, your value becomes undeniable. Machiavelli would tell you don't aim to be loved at first, aim to be needed. Once you're needed, respect and influence follow. Principle 5. Expect betrayal. Build anyway. Here's a bitter pill most people choke on. Loyalty is rare. Trust is fragile. People will flip on you. They will disappoint you. They will take advantage of your kindness if you give it without boundaries. Machiavelli wasn't cynical. He was realistic. He knew the game. He expected betrayal and moved accordingly. Not with paranoia, but with preparation. So should you. Don't build your empire on hope. Build it on structure. Protect yourself legally, financially, emotionally. Keep records. Keep boundaries. Keep your eyes open, even when things seem perfect. That doesn't mean close yourself off to the world. It means understanding human nature. People will act in their own interest when the pressure's on, even good people. So when it happens, don't cry, don't rant, don't spiral, just adjust. Keep building. Machiavelli taught that the wise ruler surrounds himself with allies but remains self-sufficient. That way, when the mask slips off someone's face, you're not destroyed. You're simply informed. So stop expecting the world to reward your good intentions. Start rewarding yourself with strong foundations. The long game is for the emotionally durable, not the sensitive, not the naive, the durable. Principle 6. Learn to use silence as a weapon. Most people talk too much. They leak their plans. They explain themselves. They defend every move. Machiavelli would tell you that's a mistake. Power flows to those who know when to speak and when to shut up. Silence is a weapon. It forces people to reveal more than they should. It creates tension. It gives you room to observe, to analyze, to think without pressure. You don't need to announce your every move. Real power doesn't perform, it executes. Think about the most respected men in history. The ones who command rooms. They don't run their mouths. They control the air around them with presence, stillness, certainty. You don't earn that by being loud. You earn it by being sharp, by being unpredictable, by being the guy who doesn't need to say much because his results speak for him. Silence is control. Use it. Especially in a world where everyone is addicted to oversharing. The less they know about your next step, the harder it is for them to stop you. Principle 7. Know when to strike. There's patience, and then there's passivity. Don't confuse the two. Playing the long game doesn't mean waiting forever. It means moving at the right moment, knowing when to stay quiet, and knowing when to strike with precision. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without timing is suicide. You don't kick down a door unless you know what's on the other side. Too many men waste years preparing, learning, strategizing, but never acting. That's fear, dressed up as planning. The long game is about building leverage quietly, then using it loudly. When you've trained, when you've studied, when you've stacked enough wins under the surface, then you move. Decisively, without hesitation. That's how kingdoms are taken. That's how careers explode. That's how lives change. Not in slow motion, but in sharp, calculated bursts of aggression when the time is right. Ask yourself, what are you preparing for? And more importantly, when will you stop preparing and start executing? There's no perfect time, but there is a window, and if you miss it, someone else takes the shot. Machiavelli wasn't evil. He was honest. Brutally honest about the nature of power, the truth about people, and what it takes to build something that lasts. His lessons are uncomfortable for the average mind. But if you're not trying to be average, if you want to be respected, remembered, and unshakable, then you better learn how to play the game like he did. Think long-term, move with strategy, value usefulness over popularity, delay gratification, use silence, expect betrayal, and when the moment's right, strike. This isn't about faking anything. It's about becoming dangerous through discipline. It's about crafting your life like a master tactician, not a clueless participant. Because in the end, it's not the loudest. It's not the kindest. It's not even the smartest that wins. It's the most calculated, If that's the man you want to become, then remember this video is just the first step. Watch it again, write down the principles, then apply them, slowly, daily, relentlessly. By the way, if you're serious about becoming the kind of man who plays the long game and wins, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below on what principle hit you hardest. Now go build your empire, and do it with purpose.